I will share the screen. That's my calendar. That's something. Oh, that's the one I wanted to show you. Here, that's the text of the Heart Sutra. I still talk about the first line. The Japanese reading would be Kanji Zai Bosatsu Gyojin Hanya Haramita Ji Shoken Go Kai Ku Do Issai Kuyaku. And Kanji Zai is Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva. And last time I talked about where you can find that Bodhisattva. The short answer is you have to look in the mirror and you will see him or her. So the sutra is about you. It's all about you. Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, is practicing deeply prajna paramita. And at that time clearly sees that the 5 skandhas are all empty and thus is liberated or liberates all from suffering. Next, I want to talk about prajna paramita. For those of you who can read Chinese characters, I have all 6 paramitas, or in Sanskrit, obviously, you say sat paramita, 6 paramitas. Paramita can mean perfection, or it can mean to cross over. When it means cross over, it means crossing over from this shore of suffering to the other shore where there's no suffering. So crossing over from samsara into nirvana. So paramita are 6 ways to transform samsara into nirvana. Or to put it in a more Zen way, 6 ways in which you can realize that samsara right from the start was nirvana. We never took a step out of nirvana. We just forgot nirvana. So these are 6 ways to realize we never left samsara in the first place. So let me explain about these 6. The first one in Japanese would be Fuse Haramitsu, and which is also read dana. And probably most of you know the word dana, which means giving. And giving can mean a donation. For example, supporting monks financially. That's one way of giving dana, but it's not the only way. So I don't know if I memorized them all by heart. There's 7 ways to practice dana which don't require money. One of them is smiling. So when you smile at somebody, that's a way of giving dana. Just looking at a person is also considered dana. It's dana with the eyes. Using kind words towards a person is a form of dana. Doing some kind of service with this physical body is dana. Teaching the Dharma is a form of dharma. Cooking a meal for somebody would be dana. Or offering somebody a seat is dana. So there's many ways where you can practice dana. And what all of these dana have in common is it means letting go of yourself just a little bit. For example, sometimes maybe you don't feel like. Well, one example would be you had a fight with your partner last night. The next morning, you don't really feel like saying good morning first. You maybe wanna wait. What is he gonna say? What is she gonna say? Is she gonna say good morning first? Then I might wanna say it. But if in that situation you say good morning first, that's letting go of yourself. That's dana. And of course, giving money is also a form of letting go, because we think money, that belongs to me. It's a part of ourselves. And giving that to somebody, although you have no obligation, just giving it away is also a form of dana. So that would be the first paramita, dana, giving. And maybe I give Xuan-san a chance to translate before I continue.
今天我们就是老师讲心经，然后老师还是读的是前面最开始的第一句：观自在菩萨行深般若蜜多时，参见五蕴皆空，度一切苦厄。然后老师刚刚说，就是讲第一句，观自在这儿指的就是观音。然后我们上一次课，老师提了，其实我们在哪儿找到观自在菩萨呢？其实就是心经主要谈论的就是你自己，所以你不用找，其实自己就是然后今天刚刚老师重点讲的是波罗蜜，就是我们有的时候会说，我们从自己一直不断反复重复的一个规律，一直到涅槃，就是这样一个过程。或者我们说，其实你一直反复不断重复的那一条老路，就是我们瑜伽里面就是讲它是那个它就是，或者说就是这心经里面讲，其实它就是涅槃，他们两个是一件事情。然后刚刚老师讲了，重点讲了波罗蜜一共有6个方法，其中第一个，刚刚老师就是分析的第一个方法是布施。布施波罗蜜指的就是dana，就是给予。这个给予可以是就像我们这个课程一样，给老师这个给予就是叫什么，中文叫什么，就是给多少钱都叫随喜，对，中文翻译成随喜。有一个就是你可以是这种金钱上的给予，然后其实一共有7种不同的方式做这个给予。那就像比如说你看别人，或者是你对别人微笑，说一些很好的话，就是说一些好的语言，或者是你用你的身体给别人做了一个什么服务，等等，或者比如说做一顿饭，或者是给谁提供一个座位，其实等等，一共有7个方法。但其实这7个方法说的都是一件事情，就是我们要放下你自己。老师刚刚举一个例子，比如说你跟一个朋友吵架了，然后早上的时候你们2个见面，其实都在等对方在说早上好，那其实谁先说了那句早上好，就是谁先把自己放下了。然后就是刚刚老师大概其分享的布施波罗蜜，老师现在可能还会继续往下说。
Okay, the next paramita would be sila, so the precepts, or jikai or jokai are also different readings in Japanese. The paramita of shila, the rules. Originally, I think there were more than 200 precepts for the monks, but today in Japan, when you ordain, there's only 10 grave precepts. The first one is not to kill, not to steal, not to lie, not to drink alcohol, not to engage in sexual activities, and then there's 5 more. And for example, if you enjoy drinking a lot, taking those precepts means that you, well, have to sacrifice part of what you would like to do. Or usually both in China and in Japan, the precept of not killing is also understood as meaning not to eat meat. So if you like to eat meat a lot, but you take this precept, you make a sacrifice. You also let go of this desire. Interestingly, funnily, when I came to Japan for the first time, I was a vegetarian. And when I ordained in Antaijin, I took those precepts as a celebration. They made a party for me and they served meat at that party, although the monks knew that I was vegetarian. And when I said, you can give this piece of meat to the dogs, I don't want to eat it, they said, now you're killing the cow for a second time. Imagine you were the cow and your life would have been sacrificed as a celebration for the ordination of Muho. And then Muho says, I don't want to eat it. How would you feel if you were the cow? So I finally decided that I would eat the meat, which is breaking the precepts. But in my idea, what the Shila or the Paramita is about is letting go of yourself. Sometimes refraining from eating meat means to let go of your desire. But sometimes when you're offered a piece of meat, it can also be an act of letting go, of just accepting it and saying, thank you. I will accept this piece of meat, this piece of meat. So for me also this second prajna, the second paramita is about letting go. Sometimes you don't feel like telling the truth, but you say the truth anyway. And then the third one, ninniku or annin in Japanese. In India, it's obviously called xanthi. Xanthi means to accept something that's maybe difficult to accept. When it's hot in the summer, accepting the heat. When it's cold in the winter, accepting the cold. And when you're sitting and your legs start to hurt, to just accept the pain as it is. And that also, of course, means to let go. The fourth one, shojin, haramitsu in Japanese. In India is virya, which means to make an effort, to persevere, to go one step further, even when you think you've reached your limits, to take another step. That would be the meaning of shojin or virya. And then number 5, zenjo or shōryo is dhyana. And the word Zen or Chinese Chan comes from this word. So they took dhyana, and when they translated it to Chinese, they chose this character Zen and Na in Japanese, these two characters. And then they only used the first one, this Zen, to refer to the Zen school. So dhyana is Zazen, meditation, contemplation, samadhi. And Zazen by Dogen Zenji is described as dropping off of body and mind. You let body and mind go. You let them go. So what is common to all these paramitas, in my mind, is this idea of letting go. Letting go of your possessions, letting go of your habits, letting go of your laziness, letting go of your preferences, letting go of body and mind. And the last one, prajna paramita, which is mentioned here, is the paramita of wisdom. But in my mind, this sixth one encompasses all of them. So in my mind, prajna paramita, practicing deep prajna paramita, means completely letting go. Letting completely go of everything. It doesn't mean that you attain some enlightened experience or something. You even let go of enlightenment. You let go of everything. Total letting go. So the first half of this sentence, Kanji Zai Bosatsu Gyojin Hanya Haramita, means at that moment when you completely let go, during Zazen, the body and mind drop off. And you don't even have Satori at that time. Even Satori is gone. Then you realize that the 5 skandhas are empty and thus you are free from suffering. But about these 5 skandhas and the suffering I will talk next time. Maybe Xuanzan you can translate, and after that, if you want to ask questions or share something, you're welcome to do so.
然后刚刚老师把其他几个方法，就是波罗蜜 继续说了，第一个刚刚老师说了布施，然后刚刚老师又说了持戒。持戒其实在很久以前，就是佛教有很多的戒律，可能成百上千个，但是到现在就是流传在中国或者是日本的只有10戒了。比如像什么不杀生、不喝酒，然后什么一共有10个。就是那个老师说，其实持戒在老师看来，他认为就是也是跟刚刚我们说的一样，要放下，放下你自己。其实持戒他所想要表达的，就是就是你要放下自己。老师刚刚提到了一个他自己的一个小故事，就是他刚刚来安泰寺的时候，那个时候可能特别年轻。老师以前其实是吃素的，然后他来安泰寺的第一天吧，应该是他们有一个 party，但是在安泰寺其实是大家是吃肉的，然后他们那天晚上是有牛肉，老师就跟那个住持说，我是吃素的，我不吃牛肉。然后那个住持说，其实你不吃牛肉，那这个牛肉为你而死的，那你没有吃它，等于你又把它杀了一遍，那它不就是白死？等于你杀了等于你把这个牛是第二次又杀了它一遍。然后老师听了这个话之后，一下好像就醒悟了，就觉得，不应该，不应该这样。然后他其实那天是开始吃肉了，然后这是刚刚老师提到一个他的一个经历，然后后面还有几个波罗，第三个是忍辱。就好像在安达寺坐禅一样。就刚刚老师还有一句，就是说那个持戒其实就是不是说我们有的时候已经看到了这个事实，我们不想说，但是其实持戒呢是让我们说出来，其实你不想说的一些事实，它告诉你一些更加残酷的一些现实。然后第三个是忍辱，就比如在安泰寺坐禅的时候，冬天很冷的时候你要忍耐接受很冷，夏天非常热的时候要接受它很热，以及我们在坐禅当中身体上和心理上的痛苦，这些都是忍辱的一个表现。然后第四个是精进波罗蜜，精进指就是不要满足你现在已经非常好的一个状态，更进一步。然后第五个是禅定，禅定就是像我们那个 dhyana，日语翻译成 zen 呢，就是那个禅，就是中文把它翻译成禅呀，它取了前面那个字，禅定的禅就是我们所说的禅里面那个禅。然后道元禅师对禅定有一个说法，就是身心脱落。其实这个也是说让你放下自己，把你的身体和心理全部放下，身心脱落。然后最后一个是智慧，pranya。然后这个老师刚刚说，其实最后一个波罗蜜是前面所有这些波罗蜜的一个总和，它是指的全然的一个放下，而最后这个智慧指的不是说你有了前面这些所有的波罗蜜，它的总和说是你要入定，它没有指的说你要入定，指的是你要放下，你要放下自己。它里面所说这个智慧，并不是你已经入禅定，或者说你得到了什么，而是放下。就是我们不是说，你有了这些波罗蜜就开悟了，其实没有。那我们现在看第一句话，观自在菩萨行深般般若波罗蜜多时，就是其实它第一句话指的是在哪儿找到菩萨呢？其实就是你自己。然后当你行这些6个波罗蜜的时候，其实就是你开始放下自己的时候。刚刚老师其实解释是第一句，然后有问题的同学可以跟老师提问。
Thank you. So, do you have questions or anything you would like to share? If yes, don't hesitate. Either raise your hand or start to speak just like that. Tanya, please.
Hello, everybody. Can you read this, Muho?
San Sui Ko. So Ko, the third one is how do you say, fragrance, Duft. San Sui means mountains and water.
Mountains and water fragrance.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Mountains and water. It's
fragrance.
a Benedictus of Hausmarke. Yeah, we use it all the time, and now I have it here, and yeah, I like it. I'm used to it for more than 10 years now, so first time I have it here. Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to share, just spent a weekend at Benedictus Hof. It was a course for children with parents. and many families came, and it was very interesting to meet nice people. And I had a good challenge to practice, because my 8-year-old son, he sat right in front of me, and he didn't sit still for 1 minute, just one, not a second, not one breath. He sat still. He was all the time like this, and sometimes he lay down on me, and I was still sitting still. And so a great challenge to spend the time with him. But I'm glad he liked it, and he wants to go there again. He met friends, and me too. And he got again in touch. Was the third time he went to a course there, always with Manfred Rosen. You know him?
Yes.
Just I think you had 1 or 2 Zoom meetings.
Yes.
And he does it. I like the way he does the lessons for the children. He is very playfully, and like a Geschichtenonkel, you know the word. He tells stories, and everybody can listen very well. Even the young children, the 8-year-olds, but the 17-year-olds also. I think everybody had a good time, and I'm happy he did it, even if I'm really exhausted, and because I had to be with my kid all the time in one room and share the night with him, and he couldn't sleep in the night for 2 hours, and oh my God, I'm really tired now, and we have the cold a bit, and oh God, but I'm happy we did it. And I don't think he checked anything Manfred wanted to tell him. Yes. But he had the experience being there and having some kind of community, and having something of spirituality or rituals and stuff like that. And I know the place very well, and I feel at home. And so I was happy to be able to share it with him, and that the children are welcome there is a good advantage of this big house. Usually I like the stillness, and be just 30 people in one session and not more people around. But with this noisy house, it's possible to have the children there also. It was good, and they had to be still while the meals, and in the whole Gelände, in the whole area, in the house, they had to be still, and that was possible. It was good. The children did it, and I liked it very much for him, because no triggers, no Reize, no media, no tablet, no smartphones, and I could spend 3 weeks with him there, just to have a mother-child clinic or something. Instead of that, I could go with him there. And Joseph asked where it is. It is in Germany, next to Würzburg, and I live in Erlangen, which is close, 1 hour 20. So I know the place very well, because I've been there very often. And so I'm happy that they have this for the children too. And thanks for listening.
Yeah, great. Sounds like my first experience with session. Or probably most people have this experience with their mind. Like it's all over the place. You can't get to sleep at night, but it's good. It's good, especially when, even though it's so chaotic, you want to go back. You want to go back after it's over. During the session, you count the time when it's over finally, but then after it's over, it's good. You want to do it a second time.
Yeah. But funnily, this effect of sessions happened to me only as I was there for 2 week sessions. Then the first time I thought, when can I go home? All the other sessions, I always thought, oh, this is not so nice, but I want to stay here. It's so important. It's so right. I never got to this point where I wanted to go home. I just listened to the others. Oh, you have to know what you said. But I always loved the sessions, because it was so not easy, but it was so full of sense. It made sense. It made sense all the time. And I never got to this hard thing. Just in the last session, when I got problems with the knee, then
Yes.
I knew, okay, that's pain. Never had pain before while sitting and thought I would die because of the pain.
Yes.
First time, last session after 12 years, I think something's wrong with me. But yeah, my daily life with the children is so much more session than anything else in the session. That's yeah, lucky my teacher knows it. She knows what my challenges are, and that it's the session is more like holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Werner, you're trying to say something? For some reason we can't hear you. Strange. You're not in mute, so I don't know why we can't hear you. There must be something wrong with the microphone. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have no idea. I have no idea why we can't hear you. Julian is raising his hand, and Joseph.
Yeah, strangely enough, I was just going to say, echo what Tanya was saying. And parenting is very interesting teaching, isn't it? It's a good spiritual practice. I just wanted to say I really appreciate this detailed moment by moment tackling of the Heart Sutra. So I just wanted to say thanks again for it. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm proceeding so slow, but I mean...
Oh no, slow is good. I'm happy with slow, if everyone else is.
Joseph also raised his hands. So Julian is Julian is thankful to you that you give him the opportunity to parent you.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He had two sons, and one of them is here in the Zen meeting with him. So yeah, no, my question was perhaps just a slightly simplistic one, but I was just going to ask, like, for you, Muho, as a young man, when you were taking the precepts and then joining the monastic sangha, what was particularly difficult, or the most difficult thing to give up, and how did you experience that?
What was the most difficult? I mean, in Antaiji, one thing that was difficult for me was the hard physical labor and the amount of labor that had to be done. Another thing would be in Japanese, it's called senpai kohai, the kind of hierarchy between elder monks and the novices. So even if the elder ones are maybe younger than you or less experienced, but like I had done 6 years or maybe even more, 9 years of Zazen when I ordained, no, 6 or 7, whatever. And some of the older monks, they had less experience in Zazen, but still you are supposed to listen to what they say. If they say Zen is about this, even if you think that's stupid, that's not what I experienced, that's not what I know from the books, you're supposed to listen to that. And there's not this opportunity that we have in the West to kind of, how do you say, on same height? How do you say in English to that?
What would I say? Like a non-hierarchical.
Yeah, kind of. Well, on the same level. There's in
my experience, like. So I'm part of the Buddhist Society here at the university where I currently am. And, there's so much emphasis on like, it's got to be, everything's got to be like democratic and, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but.
No, it's not a bad thing.
I know what you mean. Like there's a real emphasis that no one's like a hierarchy or no one's. Well,
that emphasis on kind of a democratic, same level communication is missing a little bit, and well, I miss that. Another thing that I miss is there's almost no privacy kind of during the whole day. You don't have a room for yourself. Usually you share the room and you're together with the same group of people from morning to night all year round. So except for the toilet, the 5 minutes, 10 minutes you spend in the toilet, there's really no my space, my time. You don't have a set time during the day, maybe an hour or two, that really belongs to you and there's no disturbance. You can't shut yourself out from the rest of the community. So that was also very hard, maybe even the hardest, because I'm more kind of an introvert. So just as Tanya said, a session, of course, could be hard, but silence for 5 days, very easy. But then being back in the Sangha, having to listen to orders and having to join a party, even if you don't feel like joining the party, you can't excuse yourself and say, I'm going to bed early. That was even harder for me than the session often. So giving up this need for privacy, your own space, your own time, my personal time. That was maybe one of the most difficult things. Anything else that you would like to ask or share? Nothing special? Next week in Japan is Golden Week. Do you have something like that in China as well? I think there's a Golden Week. Same time? Do we still do it next week?
I follow your schedule.
Like for me, it's okay. Like I have nothing special planned next week. So if everyone is okay with that, we can do it. Next week I would talk about to you. And then in 2 weeks, probably, no, that's just after the Golden Week. So in Japan in 2 weeks, the Golden Week would be just over May 6th, I think. I would continue with the Heart Sutra and talk about the 5 skandhas and what comes after that. Okay, thank you for joining. Have a nice week and see you again. Probably most of you won't be affected by the Golden Week anyway, but those of you who have the Golden Week, please enjoy. And thank you for joining.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Werner, was that Werner? Now we could hear you.
Oh, hast du
Yeah,
mich gehört?
now I can hear you. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Ich habe es geschafft.
Ja, du hast
Nach
es
2
geschafft.
Monaten.
Yeah. Finally we can hear you.
Prima, toll. Bye, bye.
Bye bye.